The Viewpoint is live now.
Good evening, namaskar, adab. It's been 5 days now, folks. It's been 5 days since that commitment was first given by a BJP leader that the FIR against Major Aditya, who's been embarrassed, who's been troubled by the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Because Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Ms. Mehbooba Mufti, decided to be a Chief Minister for once. If I was to take you through the history of Mehbooba Mufti, I'll tell you that you all would really be surprised about the number of instances in which Mehbooba Mufti has been found wanting as a Chief Minister. So right at the top of the program, while we look at this debate about why Mehbooba Mufti filed the FIR against Major Aditya, who was only doing his job, trying to look after his buddies, was Mehbooba Mufti actually doing something that she has all along been doing, which is practically doing nothing?
मेरे ख्याल में ऐसे अफसर वो मेजर का वो है या वो कोई और अफसर हो जो भी ऐसी हम कार्रवाई करे उसको तो पनिश करना चाहिए था।
Jung is no option, war is no option for us. एक ही ऑप्शन है, वो बातचीत है, चाहे आज करें, कल करें, परसों करें, बातचीत के बगैर हमारे पास कोई चारा नहीं।
Yes, indeed, folks. It's time to simply call a spade a spade. There is no room for any pussyfooting on the program tonight. I think Mehbooba Mufti is the biggest embarrassment to the institution of the high office of a Chief Minister in India. So we must begin this program by taking a straightforward position that we believe Mehbooba Mufti must go. That's a hashtag, Mufti must go. And I'll tell you the reasons in the next 5 minutes as to why I believe Mehbooba Mufti must go. Let's bring you up to speed with the headlines of that developing story in Jammu and Kashmir. Finally, the Defence Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, has managed to get across the pangs of alliance trouble. So she goes to Jammu to inspect the damage which has been caused by terrorists in 3 consecutive strikes. And what does she do? She does pretty much what ministers have been doing, what the defense minister, or for that matter, what all cabinet ministers in the country have been doing. Pakistan will be made to pay. Pakistan is villain number 1. And Nirmala Sitharaman, once again, has gone to Jammu and she says that Pakistan has been increasing its arc of terror. And for inflicting these kind of wounds on the soul of India, Pakistan will be made to pay once again. Surgical strike 2.0, surgical strike 3.0 coming up. Is that the solution? We'll look at that question up ahead on the program tonight. Our big headline number 2. What is the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir doing? Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir is Mehbooba Mufti is doing what her own alliance partner, all members of the BJP, which happens to be an alliance partner of the PDP, have all along maintained anyone who looks for dialogue with Pakistan is an anti-national. Remember Manishankar Iyer, remember Salman Khurshid, whole host of leaders, some leaders from the National Conference as well, who have always maintained that unless you go to the talking table with Pakistan, you're not going to solve the Kashmir imbroglio. Today, the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir is doing exactly that. And what is the BJP leadership doing? Absolutely nothing. All along it has maintained that there is nothing to be gained by talking to Pakistan. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, while addressing that press conference in Jammu, she dodges this question and talks with Pakistan, but says that we have a dossier which we will once again present to Pakistan because we want Pakistan to act against terror. Incidentally, the NDA government itself doesn't know who to be speaking to in Pakistan because we don't know who's in power in Pakistan. Our big headline number 3, and frankly folks, this is the biggest story which has emerged in the last 12 hours from the terror struck parts of Jammu and Kashmir. It is now becoming very, very clear that Nirmala Sitharaman, the Defence Minister of India, was not informed by Mehbooba Mufti. Mehbooba Mufti had not sought permission from Nirmala Sitharaman, nor had she informed Nirmala Sitharaman about her intention, her desire of filing an FIR against Major Aditya. My simple question on the program tonight is this, that if on one hand Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister is so very clear about what she should be doing when it comes to dealing with army men who are only protecting the interests of their own brothers, of their own buddies, then why is it that the same Chief Minister comes across as a complete misfit when it comes to looking at the state of law and order? The affairs of Jammu and Kashmir, the administrative affairs of Jammu and Kashmir, she doesn't have any clue, but certainly when it comes to filing an FIR, Ms. Mufti is very, very clear. What was she attempting to do? Was she simply attempting to assuage the high emotions back in Jammu and Kashmir? Am I to understand that Mehbooba Mufti believes that the people of Jammu and Kashmir will be happy if and only if she was to be seen to be taking this position against the armed forces? Our big headline number 4, the investigations. What's happening on the investigations front? After those spate of terror strikes, the National Investigating Agency has been brought into the case investigations now. But huge question marks on what exactly is being done by the centre to implement recommendations of General Philip Campbell's committee. Imagine the power play in this country. In 2015, Pathankot terror strikes happened. A committee is set up when there was a different defence minister in the form of Manohar Parrikar. General Philip Campbell's, one of the most decorated soldiers, former Vice Chief of Indian Army, he was specifically tasked to come up with a set of recommendations. He comes up with a set of recommendations in 2015 itself. And here we are in 2018, we're still saying that yes, we have the intention. Yes, we got the money and we will certainly implement what he wanted to do. That is the level of seriousness that we have when it comes to dealing with terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. How should we be looking at this entire crisis which is unfolding in Jammu and Kashmir? Big newsmakers joining us. Firstly, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, Rajya Sabha MP of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Straight question, Dr. Swamy, tonight. Should the Bharatiya Janata Party be snapping ties with Mehbooba Mufti? Should Mehbooba Mufti be sacked as Chief Minister? Let's go in for governor's rule, for president's rule. And the man who knows a thing or two about the political work style, work approach of Mehbooba Mufti, Muzaffar Beg, co-founder of the PDP, he is joining us live and exclusive tonight on what he believes needs to be done in order to ensure that the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is not what it is today. So let's straight away take you to the heart of the story, and let's tell you why I began this show by saying that I'm very, very clear the real problem right now is Mehbooba Mufti. Ms. Mufti does not know. She doesn't know what is actually happening on the ground, and she doesn't know how to deal with the centre. I'm going to list 5 critical reasons which will convince you why Ms. Mufti may not be the right person to be the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir anymore. Collapse, total collapse in law and order. 44% spike in violence in 2017. Reason number 2, she's perceived to be separatist sympathizer. She's perceived to be anti-army, a perception which has only gained ground with her decision of filing this FIR against Major Aditya, which has now been stayed by the Supreme Court. Lack of executive decisions due to fractured mandate. She's always looking for some support or the other from the centre. Now, either she should take a PDP line or she should take a BJP line. She's caught in between. The development agenda completely gone for a toss. Nobody is speaking about Vikas right now. There is no commitment to implementing any of the pre-poll promises. The simple expectation out of Ms. Mufti today is to ensure that Kashmir does not become this living hell, paradise on earth becoming living hell, all because of functioning, or should I say the lack of functioning of the Chief Minister. No Anantnag Lok Sabha by-polls for 1.5 years, rural polls unlikely to be held, and what kind of an example are we setting for the world? I'm sure Ms. Mufti must be spending sleepless nights as she looks at all these reasons, which only and only convince us that it was a wrong move for the BJP to support her as Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Just in the context of all these reasons. Let's take a very direct and straightforward position on the program tonight. Mehbooba Mufti is turning out to be a total failure as a Chief Minister. So I believe, folks, that because she has turned out to be completely incompetent and inefficient as a Chief Minister, we must say this in blunt words, that she's not being taken seriously perhaps by the centre. Maybe she's just caught in a cycle of domestic political chaos. Mehbooba Mufti cannot remain Chief Minister if she is at direct odds with the centre. India needs a comprehensive policy on Kashmir, which is the same between the centre and the state, and there is no way that Mehbooba Mufti can continue to obfuscate this question about what should be done with those who are taking law and order in their own hands, about what should be done, what's the degree of freedom she is willing to give to armed forces if she wants the armed forces to continue to maintain peace and harmony in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Let's see whether our panelists can agree or disagree with my blunt viewpoint as we raise the big blunt question on the program tonight. Is it time for the Bharatiya Janata Party to snap ties with Mehbooba Mufti? Is this alliance between BJP and PDP as good as over? And is this the only inevitable solution which was waiting to happen? That's a big blunt question. Let's straight away welcome our first big newsmaker on the program tonight, man who set up the PDP, co-founder of the PDP, Muzaffar Beg, joining us live and exclusive. Thanks very much, Muzaffar Bhai, for joining us. Let me be straight with you, sir, on this rather disturbing day. Please tell me, why do you think the situation in Kashmir today has become so very volatile and so very dangerous?
Well, there are some historical reasons and there are some contemporary reasons. I won't go into historical reasons. Everybody knows about the partition of the country and the partition of the state between India and Pakistan. The contemporary reason is that the Pakistan army, as far as I can make it out, Pakistan army wants to escalate the problem in Kashmir so that there is a reprisal, and as a result of that reprisal, local population will be killed, and they will have the enemies of Prime Minister Modi will be very glad if the Muslims of India are alienated on account of the indiscriminate killing of the Kashmiri Muslims.
But who are these enemies, sir? You are saying enemies of India. I want to know who are these enemies of India, because your own Chief Minister, Ms. Mehbooba Mufti, is saying that these enemies, the Pakistanis, we need to speak to these enemies in the state of Pakistan in order to resolve this crisis. Do you believe that? Do you buy that argument which is being made by her?
See, as a matter of principle, talk is always better than shooting at each other. But one has to be realistic. Today, I believe that the only authority in Pakistan which can talk is army. And I further believe that the Pakistan army today will not do anything which is not sanctioned by the army of China.
But
China has assets in that part of Kashmir which constitutionally belongs to Union of India, but which factually and de facto is part of Pakistan. They have the most strategically important economic corridor which goes from that part of territory, Pakistan administered Kashmir. They have the largest port in the world, and China and Pakistan both are going to be great beneficiaries of the network they have in that part of Kashmir.
I am getting your drift, sir. But I'm saying, if you're saying the situation is so serious that there is a Pakistan and China axis which is active and alive on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir, then I'm wondering what exactly is Mehbooba Mufti doing? Then why hold any talks whatsoever with Pakistan? What do we gain then, sir?
The problem is who to talk to. The authority in Pakistan that could have some some legitimacy to talk is the Pakistan Army, which is the father of militancy in Kashmir. Now, Pakistan Army is behaving more like a team player with Chinese Army. A Chinese Army, Chinese the political system, they are inseparable from each other.
But then who is in control of the situation, sir? You're saying that there is a China and Pakistan problem. I'm in agreement with you. But then I'm looking at the response from the central government here. I'm looking at the response of the authorities in India. The Prime Minister goes to Davos. What does he say? He says there is no difference between good terrorists and bad terrorists. Home Minister says stone pelters are nothing else but misguided youth. Mehbooba Mufti is filing FIR against the army here. Aren't all these three players responsible for security of citizens of Jammu and Kashmir? Are they not at loggerheads then, sir?
Neither the people at the helm of affairs in Kashmir understand fully what is happening or what's the thought process of the decision makers in Delhi, and vice versa. I don't think they really sit down and have the time and the patience and the commitment.
So no one knows
to understand each other's position and evolve a pragmatic and far-sighted strategy vis-a-vis Jammu and Kashmir.
But if no one knows, sir, let me be direct then. If this is the reality, if what you are saying is the reality that no one knows what should be done, then what is Mehbooba Mufti doing as Chief Minister? Should we not be asking her then to step down? Would you support that demand?
Very few people at the helm of affairs anywhere in Pakistan or Kashmir, or for that matter Delhi, the capital, are preoccupied with what the concerns of the Kashmiris are.
But who, sir? If no one, if Mehbooba Mufti is not concerned, if the central authorities are not concerned, then I should be saying that what's the purpose of this government in Jammu and Kashmir? Would you then say that actually the situation is so bad that the state of Jammu and Kashmir cannot be ruled by a legally, constitutionally elected government? Is President's rule the only solution to govern Jammu and Kashmir, sir?
From 2005 to 2006, when Mufti Sahab and myself were running the show, it was a very governable state. There was militancy, but nobody took it seriously. Mr. Gilani, who spearheads the movement from Pakistani point of view, he couldn't get a public gathering. He had to go to mosques on Friday and deliver a speech to 500 people. Kashmir is governable.
It is governable.
It is manageable.
But how?
But that's only one part of the picture. The other is, how long will Kashmir remain a thorn in the ribs of India? Or for that matter, in the ribs of Pakistan? A very far-sighted policy is to be evolved. And I dare say, there are three players now. There are three stakeholders now. India and Pakistan, and China by virtue of its economic corridor and the largest port in the world that it has built in that part of Kashmir.
Okay. Muzaffar Beg, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your blunt viewpoint. You believe the Chinese also need to be spoken to. So Mehbooba Mufti believes Pakistanis need to be spoken to. Muzaffar Beg believes the China-Pakistan axis, that needs to be brought on the table. Well, there's another big story which is developing now. The story that we're getting is that the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister did not seek permission. For the last 48 hours, there has been this roaring debate which has been going on in India about how exactly did Mehbooba Mufti manage to file this FIR against Major Aditya. The case went to Supreme Court. Army kids ended up going to the National Human Rights Commission on Friday. And now word is coming out that actually Nirmala Sitharaman was not kept in the loop. Therefore, the question of her giving her approval or not doesn't arise. Shreya Dhondial is joining us from the newsroom. Shreya, fill us in. There is Nirmala Sitharaman who goes and meets Mehbooba Mufti. Now word coming out is that Nirmala Sitharaman was not kept in the loop. Then are we to understand that is Mufti on her own decided to file this FIR against against Major Aditya?
You know, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman Bhupen faces a unique dilemma. On one hand, there's an alliance partner, and on the other hand is Defence Forces and the morale of the Defence Forces. Now, can she actually go out and say, look guys, Mehbooba Mufti lied on the floor of the House when she said that, I have permission from the Raksha Mantri of this country to do whatever I like as far as Major Aditya and the Shopia case is concerned? Well, she can't come out and say that Mehbooba Mufti is lying simply because Mehbooba Mufti is an important ally of this government. Here is what she would like to say but can't say. Today again in the press conference in Jammu, she was asked that very specific question: did you or did you not give permission to Mehbooba Mufti to file the FIR against Major Aditya? You got some whataboutery. What else would you expect? But here's what top defense sources are telling us, and these are sources at the highest level in the Ministry of Defense. Mehbooba Mufti and Nirmala Sitharaman on the question of Major Aditya didn't have one conversation, they actually had two conversations. The first conversation, Bhupen, is when Mehbooba Mufti calls her and expresses anger and concern, saying this cannot happen.
Right.
The fact is that the army did fire, the fact is that 3 civilians did get killed. Nirmala Sitharaman to that said, look, if you are worried, I can look into the matter. The second call that Nirmala Sitharaman makes is to the army chief to get a sequence of events. Once she's clear about what exactly has happened, she calls back Mehbooba Mufti. She tells her the sequence of events and says, look, the army is not at fault. SOPs were followed. There was a JCO who was being lynched. And, if we had not fired, first we fired in the air, then we had to fire at the stone pelters. If we had not done it, we would have lost a man.
Right.
Okay, this is the second conversation they have. Again in this conversation, there was at no point Mehbooba Mufti asking for permission for FIR, for an FIR.
So she has not asked for any permission at any point of time.
And neither has any permission been given.
Therefore, if the permission was not asked for, where is the question of permission being given?
Correct.
Is this just a political game that is being played between the centre and the state? And should we be reading more into this? Next big newsmaker joining us on the program tonight. That's why I said at the beginning of this program, I'm only going to restrict myself to facts. Subramanian Swamy, BJP MP joining us. Dr. Swamy, thank you so much, Dr. Swamy. Please tell me, do you buy this for a moment, Dr. Swamy? The other day, you went to the President's office, sir, saying that how could the Defence Minister allow the filing of this FIR? Now my defence reporter, Shreya Dhondial, reporting actually Nirmala Sitharaman was not kept in the loop. Is it possible, Dr. Swamy?
It's impossible. I've been a minister too. And I dealt with Kashmir because we didn't have a full-time home minister. And very often Mr. Chandrasekhar used to ask me, for example, in the kidnapping of Saifuddin Soze's son, daughter rather, I was fully involved. I know that in the government such things don't happen. Now if a chief minister says, I spoke to her and she said, go ahead if you feel that it is something that should be done. Now if that is so, then that is not so. I think it is absolutely essential for Nirmala Sitharaman to either make a public statement or ask her Minister of State for Defence to talk to various people who are saying that she was talked to and she had given permission. They could have told me I am presently a member of the Standing Committee on Defence. And this could have been communicated. So many things are communicated to me by the government.
So I just want to know, so viewers would like to know very clearly. Dr. Swamy, viewers would like to know this very clearly, and I must say that I have a whole set of panelists who are listening to every word that you're saying very, very closely. Are you saying this FIR against Major Aditya could not have been filed only and only at the level of Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir?
Section 7 of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act says without the express written sanction from the Government of India, there can be no FIR filed by the state government. It's black and white.
So let me then say this clearly. So therefore there's
no question about filing
No question. Okay. Then let me say this to you, sir. Is Mehbooba Mufti being economical with the truth? Is Mehbooba Mufti trying to create a reality which doesn't exist? Who's on the in the dock here?
How can we say that unless Nirmala Sitharaman contradicts it?
Okay. Now Nirmala Sitharaman is not saying anything officially, so we'll restrict ourselves again, as I'm saying, to facts. My next question to you, sir, is this: look at what's going on in Jammu and Kashmir. Do you believe Nirmala? Do you believe that Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, who's now saying let's have talks with Pakistan? There is Defence Minister who's saying I want to give a dossier to Pakistan of proof of its involvement with terrorists, and there is a Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir who says, let's go have talks with Pakistan. Has Mehbooba Mufti lost the right to rule as Chief Minister, Dr. Swamy?
She lost the right to rule a long time ago, according to me. And if you're asking me whether she's lost the right to rule now, yes, even more. She should, the government should be dismissed. There should be governor's rule. And the whole state should be brought under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act.
Are you going to write, you know, you write so many letters, sir, to the Prime Minister, to the President, and one knows that most of your letters are taken very seriously, Dr. Swamy. Are you going to write a letter to the President? Let's dismiss the government if you believe the government is not delivering.
Absolutely. I'm going to absolutely write on this incident plus what needs to be done. And I want to say one thing. There's no point, there's no basis, there's no need whatsoever to talk to China. China is nowhere in the picture. This is an internal affair of India. Kashmir is an integral part of India, and we don't need to talk to anybody.
But there was Muzaffar Beg, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, who said that there is a China-Pakistan axis which is at play, and India needs to be aware of that. Are you saying, is there a problem with our strategy,
that's
sir?
his perception.
Do we have a strategy in Jammu and Kashmir,
No,
sir?
there's no problem with that strategy. There's no problem with our strategy. I mean, there's lack of clarity.
What is our strategy,
Kashmir a part
Dr.
of
Swamy?
India? Then don't talk with anybody.
No, Kashmir is a part of India, I agree. But I'm saying that if on one hand, there is such a huge increase in the number of civilian deaths, there is an increase in the number of security personnel who are dying, then where is this strategy, this much touted strategy, Dr. Swamy? Will India get to know where is this strategy and what is this strategy all about?
Well, I don't know what the strategy of the government is. They haven't taken me into confidence, but I can tell you what my strategy is. Prepare for war and break Pakistan into four.
So you believe the only way to solve the Kashmir terror problem is to prepare for war with Pakistan. Okay, Dr. Swamy, that's your viewpoint.
Right.
That's your viewpoint. Thanks very much, Dr. Swamy, for being very direct and blunt with us. All right, let's open up the debate now as we welcome all our panelists. Now we got two very clear-cut positions on the program. Here with us in our studios, Shabnam Lone, a well-known activist, and she keeps a very, very close eye on all statements which are made by all sides. Sometimes she's courted several controversies as well. Next to her, Major General Rajesh Arya. He's another well-known defense analyst, one of the most decorated soldiers. Narendra Taneja, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party. Aishwarya Bhati joining us live as well. Dr. Geeta Bhatt and Gauhar Gilani. Welcome to all of you on the program. Shabnamji, let me just first begin with you, Shabnamji. Do you believe when Subramanian Swamy says that the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir has lost the right to rule? Has she lost the right to rule?
You see, I have throughout said that this was an unholy nexus. It didn't work. Because when the PDP came to power, it came to power on the basis of a very empty RSS agenda. So when it went into an alliance with the BJP, the people revolted against because it hit them like anything. This was an alliance which they had never expected. Now let me come straight away to one point. India, the die is cast. The time for talks is over.
Time for talks is over.
Yes.
You can't have any talks with anyone.
No, but there's one specific point which I would like to make as a Kashmiri who has been involved with this entire, you know, I lost my father to the peace process. He was brutally assassinated. Now, the question is, where do I feel India gets trapped? Take away this power from both the families, the Muftis and the Abdullahs. Go for president's rule. Kashmir is an issue which has external and internal dimensions. Have a Pakistan policy, have an internal Kashmir policy. This is the time to define it. Now, I'm not sure now whether war is not a possibility. The only way now to handle it is if India takes a definitive military action against Pakistan. People are dying. You see, soldiers are dying. The Kashmiri is deeply disturbed.
But Narendra Taneja, is there a realization? Is there a realization that whatever is the contours and whatever is the definition of this great Kashmir policy which we were told the centre had, that Kashmir policy is not working, sir. That Kashmir policy is failing on the ground. Is there a realization?
Well, Kashmir policy is working both with regard to the peace process in Jammu and Kashmir and at the same time when it comes to Pakistan.
Sir, who will believe you today?
See, the real villain is Pakistan.
No. Sir,
no one will deny that. Listen to me. People will. Those who will know of things, those who understand those who understand that, you know, that behind all this is Pakistan.
Really?
As far as Jammu and Kashmir situation is concerned, we have got a government representative there working, you know, engaging with all the stakeholders.
Subramanian Swamy was there. He says you break Pakistan into 4 parts. Do you believe this government is in a position to do that? Are we willing to do that?
No, that is personal opinion. There are many people who have got their own opinion. You can go and interview them. The question is, when it comes to, and war is not only the only thing. When it comes to Pakistan, you know, we have got, you know, diplomatic initiatives against Pakistan, and Pakistan is completely strangled. Look at the kind of economic role that we are playing there. Look at, for instance, you know, when it comes to the military pressure that we have built up against Pakistan from both sides.
Do you for a moment? Do you for a moment?
So when you look at, you have to look at the whole thing holistically. That's how you deal with Pakistan.
Do they have a downgraded
that's how you deal with a country like Pakistan. Because there are people in Jammu and Kashmir who are funded by Pakistan. There are people in Jammu and Kashmir who are spokesperson of Pakistan. There are people who come to studios in Delhi. They are, you know, spokesperson of Pakistani interests.
Is the hypocrisy at the level of the center? Is the hypocrisy at the level of the chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir?
Stakeholders in Jammu and Kashmir on the ground, but the real villain, the real player is Pakistan, and we are dealing with Pakistan as peacefully as we can. And just wait for some time.
Narendra, before I go to the other panelists, Narendra ji, one moment. If you say the real villain is Pakistan, then I must say that I'm willing to give benefit of doubt to the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister. Then I must say that it is wrong for me to say that Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister is the villain, because then you yourself must admit it. That it cannot be at the hands of any chief minister, whether from National Conference or the Congress Party or the PDP, then to deal with the situation there. Then you must keep Kashmir, the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly under suspended animation.
Yes.
Then you impose President's rule forever, and then you rule it by Delhi. Then you attack Pakistan. You do what you want to do along the border.
Listen. No. I think you are mixing the two things.
How, sir?
Number one is when India is attacked in Jammu and Kashmir or Pakistan, we deal with that differently. Armed forces are doing their job, and armed forces get command from New Delhi, not from Srinagar. Really? When it comes to the local issues, that the democratically elected government is there and functioning.
Could this FIR against Major Aditya have been filed?
To your view.
One moment.
Government elected by the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
Can you then tell me, do you then buy this information which has been broken on CNN-News18, that the FIR which was filed against Major Aditya, which has been stayed, did not have the sanction from the centre? Do you believe that actually maybe did have the sanction from the centre? Is that what you're saying?
Raksha Mantri Nirmala ji made it very clear today, and you have to read between the lines. She said, we stand by the army.
Yeah, but she didn't say anything specifically on that point.
Army.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this says those who, you have to understand, she said everything. We stand by the army.
She said everything.
That includes the major against whom the FIR has been filed.
Making all the politically correct statements. That Pakistan is a villain, who will deny that? Of course, Pakistan is a villain. That the Indian political establishment stands with the Indian armed forces, who will deny that? Major General Arya, please tell me, sir. Here we are trying to understand whether the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir is a real problem, and there is BJP spokesperson who's saying, actually, I got it wrong, it's Pakistan which is the real problem. Then what is the road ahead, sir?
Good evening, Bhupendra. What is a political road ahead, I cannot understand.
But what's the road ahead for Kashmir?
I can only tell you, I started my service career in 1977 in J&K. I ended my service career in 2014 in J&K. You tell me, you heard Mr. Beg, what a senior person, what he says, there's a lack of understanding by the way, both at the center.
Both center nobody understands.
You heard Mr. Subramanian Swamy saying there's a lack of clarity on the policy. What my worry as a soldier and an ex-soldier is, for last 30 years, the Indian army is bleeding in J&K because of the lack of the policy. I don't advocate war. I said yesterday on the TV channel on the national, I don't advocate war. Tell me, from surgical strike on any conflict continuum.
Talks then? Should we be talking to Pakistan?
Let me complete, 5 seconds. From surgical strike to all-out war, do we have a total void of policies?
I'm asking that question to everyone. Where is the political philosophy? Where is the political policy?
Where are the other instruments of government? Where is diplomacy?
Let's get that view from the ground.
Ministry?
Let's get that view from the ground.
Where is trade? Where is economics?
Where is this policy, Gaur Gilani? Is Mehbooba Mufti the biggest villain of the piece because she's not managing the state of affairs? Is that where the story rests, simply put? Gaur.
Mr. Bhupen, first of all, I have a problem with quantifying pain and talking about one pain and ignoring the other pain. If the Indian soldiers have been bleeding for the last 30 years, so have been the Kashmiri people. Kashmiri people are the principal victims of this. A perpetrator, be it the non-state actor or the state, cannot play a victim card. The real victims are the Kashmiri people in this entire story. So if Mehbooba Mufti resigns, somebody else will come, or there will be governor's rule. Nothing will change, because these are all symptoms. What we are looking at, we have to do the diagnosis, and diagnosis is the Kashmir dispute. Unless and until we don't address that Kashmir political dispute and decide to talk and resolve the dispute politically and peacefully, nothing will change on the ground. There will be periods of peace, there will be islands of peace, but they will be deceptive. This will be a deceptive peace. So then there again will be some.
Don't believe this is hogwash.
You know why?
Why?
Let's take India and Pakistan.
Hogwash.
You know why? Let us take India and Pakistan. Let them sit on the table. One will say Kashmir is my two-tongue. The other one will say it is my shahara. And the Kashmiri gets lost in that.
No, so now Narendraji, let's be clear. Then you are denying. Then you are denying what has been stated by your own chief minister.
What do we talk with Pakistan?
Well, I want to know what we want to talk with Pakistan. I also am asking. That's why I'm saying that why have you got Mehbooba Mufti then as chief minister?
Listen. Whether foreign policy is made in New Delhi, not in Srinagar.
Sir, but
she is entitled to her views. She can express her views.
Sir, she's a constitutionally elected chief minister.
But the foreign policy is made in Delhi, not in Srinagar.
She's a constitutionally elected chief minister, and that's the point which I made, that maybe you don't trust her. Maybe you don't treat her seriously. Maybe you believe that she's not good enough to be a chief minister, and maybe you thought that she will remain under your thumb.
All democratically
maybe now she's
please ask Mr. Telly. Today she made a statement that we must talk to Pakistan.
The separatists in Jammu and Kashmir keep on saying that talk with Pakistan.
Kashmiris are dying.
Pakistan,
soldiers are dying.
Pakistan is an enemy. Pakistan is the villain, and they are behind the people who are creating troubles in Pakistan. They are funding them. They are funding the terror group. They are funding some of the people who are part of these organizations.
Can I get a clear-cut understanding, Geeta ji, from an RSS perspective as well? The Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh believes in this concept of Akhand Bharat. Am I to understand that Mehbooba Mufti today, is Mehbooba Mufti an enabling factor for the RSS BJP combined, or is Mehbooba Mufti's existence as chief minister a disturbing factor? Is she an obstacle today, Geeta ji?
Bhupenji, see, when PDP and BJP, in spite of having a lot of ideological differences, when they formed a government in Jammu and Kashmir, it was basically because the amount of time, the amount of, the expenditure of the exchequer and the administrative machinery which goes into holding of elections, they decided to come together to administratively run the state. However, when the question of the integrity and sovereignty of the country comes into play, no political party and no political leader is more important than that.
Then what are you saying? Should Mehbooba Mufti be asked to step down? No. I'm being very focused on the program today. Has Mehbooba Mufti lost the right to rule as Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir?
See, as far as her statement goes, where she's saying that there should be talks should be held with Pakistan, I think there is no scope of that, considering that Pakistan is a failed state, and as many panelists have already put up, there no one knows whom to talk to. Besides that, Bhupenji, another important aspect is that this kind of problems and these kind of terrorist attacks which have been taking place again and again on Jammu and Kashmir, if we are really looking for a permanent solution, we have to integrate Jammu and Kashmir with the country in the real sense of the word.
No, I agree, but I wonder
what is important is that the special status has to go.
I wonder
it has
whether
to be
anybody
treated
in the
as a
political
normal
class.
state, just like any other state.
Aishwarya Bhatti, I'm wondering. Aishwarya Bhatti.
I want to also add we have been seeing that there are so many other states bordering states, but none of the chief ministers are making such kind of statements.
You are
trying to tell the center what should be the foreign policy.
You made one good point, Geeta ji, and you said that when it comes to national security, national integrity, then no politician is bigger than the national cause, and I'm completely with you on that point. But Aishwarya Bhatti, I'm looking at the statements which have been made by the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. She has said on Burhan Wani, she took a certain position which was not acceptable, which was not a part of the discourse which was being put up by the centre. She thought that Burhan Wani was an honest, noble citizen of Jammu and Kashmir, and the centre thought that he was an out-and-out terrorist.
So did
on the question,
BJP
Deputy Chief Minister, on the question of stone pelters, she believes these are misguided youth. There are many here at the centre who believe that they are also terrorist prime ministers. On record, there is no difference between good terrorists and bad terrorists. Therefore, Aishwarya ji, my question is that this unholy alliance, as Shabnam Lone described it, which came into existence maybe because of certain political reasons which existed at that point of time, has a shelf life come to an end for that unholy alliance? Aishwarya Bhati. Therefore, should Mehbooba Mufti go?
Bhupendra ji, I'm only a lawyer here. I'm not going to make political comments. But I can definitely say that the government needs to get its act together. The J&K government cannot on one... See, we have to bear this in mind that the fundamental issue is Indian Army is not like Pakistan Army. Indian Army follows the commands of the civilian government. Indian Army acts in aid of democracy. It listens to the political will. It's not like Pakistan Army that runs amok and, you know, even tries to control the Supreme Court of the country. Here is an army which is very fair, professional. And if the civilian government wants that army to come and operate in the state, they have given them the cover of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. There is a whole regime that is laid down. You can't say that you come and, you know, the civilian administration cannot control these things. We all know that there's a neighbor waging a proxy war in the state. And you tell to the army that you can't control the situation here. But sorry, whenever you are doing your bona fide acts, the fear of FIR is going to be hanging on your head, because no matter if your bona fide acts requires you to lay down your life for upholding the dignity of the flag, it is sorry if there's some civilian people are getting killed. And you know what is innocuous about stone pelters? The terrorist act. That these are terrorist acts.
These are terrorists. I agree. These are terrorists. But I'm just wondering. Go on. One moment. You know, if what you're saying, if what Aishwarya Bhati is saying, and I just before I come to you, Gaurav, just want. You know, the point is this, Aishwarya ji, that you've been representing the cause of the services men, the army men who approached the Supreme Court as well. Please tell me, are they telling you in your conversation with them, do they just have no faith either in Mehbooba Mufti's government and the central government? How do they answer that question, Aishwarya ji?
No, Bhupendra ji, it is not about not having faith. It is about exposing all this before the Supreme Court and trying to vindicate their valuable constitutional rights. Why is it that human rights and fundamental rights, right to life, that is enshrined and guaranteed only to people who are not wearing uniform? What happens when you expect a soldier to lay down his life to protect
Then Gaur Gilani will give us a counter view. Then what about the rights of Kashmiri citizens, Gaur Gilani?
There is a fundamental problem in this argument, because when you are defending... When you are defending, you are saying that acts of extrajudicial killings and fake encounters and killing teenagers in cold blood are bona fide acts. There's a problem in that argument. You know, number two, dismissing governments has been the way through which Delhi has tried to rule Jammu and Kashmir since 9 August 1953, when Sheikh Abdullah was dismissed unceremoniously as Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, and then that experiment was repeated in 1984 when when Farooq Abdullah was dismissed and his brother-in-law.
So there is no difference. You are saying the cycle will continue.
Please allow me to complete. These major avatars and major gogois and major adityas who are accused of war crimes and extrajudicial killings and killing 20-year-old.
But sir, you see, then it again goes back. It goes back into the cycle.
No, I take an object. Neither Gogois, nor Adityas, nor the Avatars, none of them will prove anywhere as a war crime. Today, Supreme Court has stopped the state government from taking any action on the FIR.
Let me also tell you that out of this
how dare somebody on the panel tell us soldiers committed a war crime?
Why? How is it a war crime?
I have spent 20 years in J&K. I was not happy serving there.
That's the whole problem.
I was told to serve there.
The problem.
I was not happy serving there.
The problem.
I cried when a youth died.
How will Major General Arya defend? How will he defend his troops?
I cried when an innocent died.
How will he defend his troops?
I cried when my boys died.
And who should be held responsible?
that those guys were war criminals.
As a Kashmiri now, stop this.
Stop that. Army will not otherwise function there. You are doing a disfavor to the country. You are doing a disfavor to the country.
Jingoism and patriotism.
Is that democracy in Kashmir? Is that democracy in Kashmir? Is this manufactured democracy in Kashmir? Is Mehbooba Mufti therefore the face of a manufactured democracy, Narendra Taneja? Is that what it's come down to, Mr. Taneja?
Be fair. It is BJP and
maybe.
Well, I think those who say it's a manufactured democracy, they know nothing about democracy and they have no respect for the constitution.
We know nothing.
It's a democratically elected government in Jammu and Kashmir.
Because of Indian Army, no government school functions there.
That's the whole problem.
So many people are talking over
Taneja ji, you are unwilling
Can I have 10 seconds?
Yeah, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Narendra Taneja, 10 seconds. Final comments.
You see, please.
Yes, go ahead, Narendra ji.
Point I'm trying to make is the way we succeed in blocking Pakistani intervention in Jammu and Kashmir, 100%. All problems Jammu and Kashmir will be resolved in no time. In absolutely no time. It's Pakistan and Pakistani agents and Pakistani paid mercenaries in Jammu and Kashmir who are behind this problem. The day we are able to block Pakistan, all issues in Jammu and Kashmir will be resolved in absolutely no time.
We have consistently.
I know, Madam Lone, who do you speak for? We know that. We know the truth. We know the truth. Entire country knows the truth, Madam Lone. You're not spokesman of the people there. You are the spokesman of somebody else. We know the truth.
Shabnam Lone, Narendra Taneja,
they know your truth. You speak for Pakistan. You are Pakistan's voice. Don't we know that?
Now you're a
you're making a fool of the people.
Shabnam ji, I think
FIR against your own major.
I think.
What have you done? And those MLAs were saying we made a lot of noise in the assembly.
Shabnam ji, I think the viewers have got a very, very clear idea of where the problem lies. In one line, the problem is that we just don't have a political strategy. We just don't have a political solution. We need to accept that. We can keep blaming Pakistan and we can keep saying that Pakistan is responsible. Of course, Pakistan is promoting terror. I'm not denying that Pakistan is promoting terror. But my point is we need to have a strategy. Kashmir is our state. Kashmiris are our brothers and sisters. And we need to ensure, whether we're sitting in Delhi or in Srinagar, that our hearts and our minds are also with those citizens. Thanks to all of you for joining us on Viewpoint. Let's take a break. On the other side of the break, the interactive section, I'd like to hear from you. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Our phone lines are open. Join us on the phone line. My Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, all lines open. Tell us what you make out of that question. Can sacking Mehbooba Mufti bring peace in that state which was described as a heaven on earth? Waiting to hear from you on the other side of the short break. Thank you, Jimmy. Welcome back. Let's look at our hero, villain, and ridiculous of the day before we go in and get hold of all the callers who are calling us. Let's look at the hero of the day. Who is the hero of the day? Hero of the day is Madan Lal, the brave heart who was martyred during the encounter which took place. To Madan Lal and to all those who have laid down their lives in the cause of protecting the integrity and sovereignty of our great nation, huge salute. Huge salute. And who's the ridiculous of the day? Ridiculous of the day is former BJP MLA Ramesh Saxena. And what is Ramesh Saxena's ridiculous behavior? He's advising that if you chant the Hanuman Chalisa and pray for rain to stop, then you may well have some divine intervention. And who's the villain of the day? Villain of the day is a man who is a symbol of what ails many Indian men. This man caught in a DTC bus, shamed by a young, brave Delhi University girl masturbating openly next to her, trying to harass her. And what's even more shameful, folks, that bus was full of passengers. So all of you out there who travel in buses, and if you remain a mute spectator to the kind of shameful behavior which is being indulged in by these individuals, then I must say that it makes all of you individuals who would be sharing that stage equally embarrassing and shameful figures. So hopefully you will not be a villain of the day, as we just saw. Vijay from Coimbatore is our first caller, and he's been listening into the entire conversation that we've been having on Viewpoint on whether Mehbooba Mufti should be asked to step down. Vijay, thank you so much for being a part of Viewpoint family. What do you make out of this? What do you make out of this, sir? Do you believe that Mehbooba Mufti's sacking will enable us to get peace in Kashmir?
Definitely, definitely. Mehbooba Mufti should be immediately packed up, and BJP should really cut off its ties from Mehbooba. We are fed up, sir. For the past 3-4 years, we are fed up. All our brave Jawans are killed in front of us. We have been totally fed up.
But Vijayji, don't you think that Mehbooba Mufti, who's in partnership with the Bharatiya Janata Party at the center, and the BJP, which likes to take this position of being very muscular in its nationalistic approach, do you not think that maybe the BJP also needs to be held accountable for this?
Definitely, 100%. I felt, initially when Modi came, I thought this Kashmir problem will be solved. But what to say, they are aligned with the pro-Pakistani leader, just like Mehbooba Mufti.
Okay.
And they can't come out of this mess.
Okay.
So immediately BJP, to reclaim their position, they should come out from her.
So BJP must snap out of this alliance. Vijay, thank you so much.
Yes, definitely.
Do be a part of our Viewpoint family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I look forward to your regular feedback on the program. Next caller on the line, Jaipal Singh, joining us live from Bengaluru. Jaipal ji, where do you stand on that question? I'm saying Mehbooba Mufti must go if we have to maintain peace in Kashmir. Do you agree with my viewpoint?
Should sever ties with Mehbooba.
But what do you think? Do you believe that just by severing ties with Mehbooba Mufti, we will be able to bring peace? Do you think that is there a problem with political strategy in Kashmir?
She is enjoying massive support from the terrorists and Pakistani people. So it is high time that her powers are curtailed, and BJP should sever the ties with her.
Okay. Jaipalji, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for being a part of the Viewpoint family. Look forward to constant feedback from you. Subramanian is joining us live. Bala Subramanian ji is joining us live from Mumbai. Thanks very much, Bala. Did you see the program? If you saw the full debate, give me your grading. Do you believe that I'm right in my viewpoint when I say that Mehbooba Mufti must be asked to step down?
Right.
Okay, I think we'll try and reconnect with Mr. Bala Subramanian. But the truth is this, folks, as we look at those pictures and as we look at this intense firefighting which is taking place now between politicians, Mehbooba Mufti taking one position, and you've seen how on the program range of BJP voices saying there is absolutely nothing that we gain by speaking to Pakistan. I think Mehbooba Mufti has only made her future that much more untenable. It's a story which will continue to develop, and I can promise you it's a story which we shall continue to keep a very, very close track on. I'm very clear Mehbooba Mufti has to go. If at all, we need to have even an iota of an opportunity to ensure that there is peace and stability in Jammu and Kashmir. Mehbooba Mufti needs to step down. That's it then from me. I'll see you again tomorrow.